Chapter 1, The Rise of Nationalism in Europe, Part 5. Allegory. What do you mean by allegory? Allegory means when an abstract idea, for example, greed, envy, freedom, liberty, etc., is expressed through a person or a thing. An allegorical story has two meanings, one literal and one symbolic. Artists in the 18th and the 19th centuries found a way out by personifying a nation. In other words, they represented a country as if it were a person. Nations were then portrayed as female figures. Allegory of Germany and France, Germania and Marianne. The female form that was chosen to personify the nation did not stand for any particular woman in real life. Rather, it sought to give the abstract idea of the nation a concrete form. That is, the female figure became an allegory of the nation. Female allegories were invented in the 19th century. In France, she was named Marianne, underlining the idea of a people's nation. Marianne's characteristics resembled that of liberty and republic, that is, the red cap, the tricolour, and the cockade. Marianne's statues were erected in public squares to remind the public of the national symbol of unity and to persuade them to identify with it. Marianne's images were marked on coins and stamps. Now, the allegory of Germany. Germania became the allegory of German nation. In visual representations, Germania wears a crown of oak leaves as the German oak stands for heroism. Now the last topic, nationalism and imperialism. Nationalism, which is the feeling of love for one's own nation, became intense and narrow-minded in the mid-19th century. Many nations became intolerant of each other and competed with one another for the control of territories. Imperialism is territorial control of a region or a country by another country by using military control. The Balkan crisis. This feeling of nationalism became intense in the Balkan region. The Balkan region comprised of the present-day territories of Romania, Bulgaria, Macedonia, Croatia, Greece, Bosnia-Herzegovina, Slovenia, Serbia, and Montenegro. The people in these countries were called Slavs. The disintegration of the Ottoman Empire in the region made the situation very explosive, as every state was jealous of one another and hoped to gain independence at the cost of the other. One by one, the European nationalities in the Balkan broke away from the control of the Ottoman Empire and declared their independence. As the different Slavic nationalities struggled to define their identity and independence, the Balkan area became an area of intense conflict. The internal rivalries and jealousies made the Balkan states distrust and fear each other. As the Balkans had become a site for big power fights, the situation became even more serious. The fights were among the European powers who fought for trade and colonies and for naval and military powers. During this time, many powerful European nations such as England, France, Russia, and Germany competed to gain control of the Balkan region. This competition for gaining prominence in the region finally led to the First World War in 1914. Later, several Asian and African countries which were colonized by the European nations began to oppose imperial domination. Anti-imperial movements that began in colonies were nationalist in nature, as people were fighting to form independent nation states. Thank you, children.